In honor of a fantastic first test of the Ashes, I wanted to share some of my favorite cards that I've got of some of the key players for both of these squads. A little bit lopsided, Aussie got the win, so I want to go with three Australians and one from the English side. But I think that's also because if I look at these teams, I think that these four guys are kind of surefire Hall of Famers, especially if they keep up what they're doing. So to start with, Joe Root, just an amazing batter. I feel bad for him more than anybody. I feel like at the end of the first day of batting, where Joe Root was just smashing the ball all over the place, the England skipper probably should not have declared. I think he could have gotten to 150, and I think that would have probably changed the dynamic of the test match. But, I did not grow up watching test cricket, so I might be missing something. Put it in the comments if you disagree. Would England have been in better shape if they would have let Joe Root keep batting after the first day, at least for a couple more overs, and just let him go crazy, try to hit a few more boundaries? Would they have been better off throughout the end of the test? Would it have ended differently? So that's a pretty cool autograph card from 2018. And then his rookie card from 2014, as far as I know, his only rookie from Cricket Attacks. I've got a really sweet Mint 9, which is the highest graded PSA card from the set. Basically a perfect card, and I couldn't find any flaws with it. So really great to get these that don't have any kind of flaws. Most of them have a nicked corner here or there, a print line. All kinds of stuff can go wrong with these because they weren't printed on great stock. These were produced in India, but that's a really, really clean copy. The only better copy I've got, I actually got a 10 on. This is from CSG, but if you've used CSG, they have a 9.5. So getting a 10 on CSG is really, really tough. And obviously the only 10. I think this is the only Cricket Attacks card that has ever been graded a 10 by one of the major grading companies, like literally the only one. So really happy to have two Joe Root rookies. And again, the guy just was unstoppable on the first day, and I wish that they would have just let him keep batting because I think he would have done some more damage. All right, so now we're out of the way with the English squad. The two guys I was really expecting to be dominant for the Aussies didn't really show up as big as I thought that they would in the first test. But first up is Steve Smith. He's been one of the most dominant batsmen for a really long time. This is a really clean copy of his Cricket Attacks, which is not his rookie. He's got some earlier Aussie releases, but it's a very early Steve Smith card from 2011. So I was really happy to get that in such a nice grade. Not graded yet. I probably will grade it at some point. You can see there's a little something on the side here, so that would knock down the grade. But the corners are pretty sweet for Cricket Attacks. These 2011s, getting these above like a 3 or a 4 is very, very hard to find. So that's about as good as you'll find, unless you're pulling these straight from packs, and the packs are almost non-existent now. And then I've got a few of his signed cards. This one's probably the coolest one I have of him. Pretty early one there. And then I've got 3 of his signed cards from the 2022. This is a really cool parallel. On to Marnus. So again, Marnus and Steve Smith, like probably the 2 best test batters in the world, and Joe Root, they might be the 3 best test batters in the whole world. So I've definitely looked to pick up their cards. I really like Marnus's signature. I know most people probably don't care too much, but Joe Root's got a pretty involved signature as well. But Marnus does a really nice job with all the looping. He's got a really long name, so I guess he can do more with it than a lot of people can. But I've got a pretty long name, and I do not try to make my signature cool. Here is his rookie card. This is a parallel, which I really like. Mirrored kind of effect on that. That's a 2017. And here's the regular version signed, which I really like. that's his signed rookie card, which is cool. And then I've got these two, 2 copies. And again, like, what a cool signature, right? 2 copies of his first pack issued autograph, and these were super low numbered. This is number 38 out of 133. And then this one is extra special. This is definitely my favorite Marnus card because this one is number 1. So super cool. Really enjoy collecting his stuff. And then finally, the man of the hour, Pat Cummins. So best known as being one of the greatest bowlers in the world, and he has been for a really long time. Really dominant test bowler. This is a kind of shiny parallel from 2020. Here is another 2020 here. And then my favorite Cummins card that I have, because I don't have a ton of his stuff, but this is a very early card. He was only 19 when this card was issued. I believe he has one earlier card, but otherwise this is pretty close to a rookie. So getting this one signed, I just think that's an awesome shot too. Super cool. And yeah, like for those of you that did not watch The Last of the Ashes, Pat Cummins, who's known for his dominance bowling, he grabbed 4 wickets, so he did a good job bowling, but it was really with his bat at the end where the Aussie team had lost basically all of their good batsmen and were down to just a few of their bowlers who were batting at the end. And Pat Cummins battled and battled, and he ended up scoring 44 runs, including the winning boundary 4 at the end. So just a really dominant performance by him, and a very, very close match. The English squad definitely showed up well. I think the Aussies rightfully should be favored for the upcoming tests and probably be favored to take the Ashes back. Sorry to my British fans out there, but either way, really, really good to watch that level of cricket. Probably the most of any test I've ever watched. So it was really cool for me to get to enjoy such a super, super great match. And yeah, hope that you enjoyed these cards. I just think it's super fun to be able to pick up some really rare autographed cards of some of the greatest players. Hope you enjoyed.